first things first, I've already attempted to do this as Brewmaster, but since I already killed it as Arcane Mage, it didn't bother actually trying to finish it. I was around like 6 or 6 item level. I don't think I had 4 piece yet. I think I wiped at like 4% because I couldn't see the swirly on the stair. But anyways, this is a video of me killing Zekvir as Brewmaster. If you have, or if you've ever played Windwalker, and or if you've ever played Ret, you should play those two. If you want to kill Zekvir without too much effort, I decided to do as Brewmaster just because, for fun, I guess. Well, I have too much time on my hands. Because I already did it as Arcane, so I don't actually need to complete this. So I'll try to front load this with information that's generally helpful for all classes. So you should look in your class tree, look for any talent, usually class talent, that will remove snares from you. Next, try to get as much movement as possible. You don't need CCs, but having a CC is fine if a spider does spawn, but usually if a spider does spawn, you are fucked. Oh, and I quickly want to add, if you are on a mana class and or you have a healer spec, just quickly spend some mana before you pull Zekvir so you can get Bronze Campfire. That's the easiest way to do it. It's an extra 10% stats. It's very useful. Just self-heal yourself a few times. Or if you're mage, use Arcane Explosion, or switch your spec to healer. That completely empties your mana so you can, so Bron will immediately spawn a campfire for yourself. And if you didn't know, Bronze Campfire food buff stacks with your normal food buff, and unlike me, you should actually bring a drum if you do not have a lust, and you should lust when he enters phase 2, or if you think you will not be able to kill a spider, you should lust then. Make sure everything is enchanted, and unlike me, use combat potions. You should be able to use at least 2. It will help a lot. The fear doesn't necessarily kill you, but you will probably run into something and die. All the other cones will kill you, more or less. I think you can actually survive the web pool cone as tank, but the other ones will definitely kill you. And when he enters phase 2, that web cone will like shoot through the portals. I still don't completely understand it, so I just make sure I am on the opposite side of the portals and where he's facing. You just want to make sure you're never in the path in between any of the portals. And that's can be difficult to see on a glance. So I just try to steer clear of them entirely, and that works for the most part. They're usually not a problem. Just keep in mind where they are when they appear. Anyways, pick healer Bran. Pick up the healing potions as often as you can. His autos are... they hurt, they can crit. If you're male and plate, they actually hit even harder. And they can crit, and you will suddenly drop down really low, or you may not notice it at all. Once you're in phase 2, he stops autoing really at all, which, as I go into Brewmaster, we'll get into some annoying points about that. You do not have much time to react to things, which becomes very inconvenient if he spawns one of the ad spiders across the room. If he does that, you have to play very carefully, but you also need to kill it very quickly. Because if you move too far over, he casts the heal, maybe, and then he heals up, and then you have to fight him longer. It's not necessarily a wipe. Or he will cast the cone and catch you out and fucking kill you instantly. What you should do, try to wait until a cone spawns. If you're playing this as tank, generally you have so low DPS that you will not really get a chance to play with that. I don't know if I made sense of that, but what I'm saying, this fight has a lot of RNG and it could fuck you hard. especially as a tank if you're trying to do it as a tank, because generally speaking, you have to commit all your cooldowns, and even as a 620 something Brewmaster or whatever my item level is, uh, you might not have the damage. You'll get very close sometimes. If you have a trinket or trinkets that are on use and can do damage, such as a mandate or something similar, it might be a very good idea to use those instead of a stat increase trinket, because more or less you're slow rolling Zekvir. There's no real killing Zekvir quickly. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe Windwalker and Rat can kill them pretty quickly. But generally speaking, take your time. Alright, specifically Brewmaster, Zekvir's autos are inconsistent, so sometimes he'll auto you for a lot, you'll be staggering a lot, and you'll use, I'm forgetting the ability that throws the kegs in the air whenever you use a brew, but very often you will not have any stagger at all, and you can't make use of that at all. So I'm going to recommend rushing Jade Wind, but the other one may be useful. If you didn't get a huge slow, I would have said very cringe-worthy, but I would have said keep the dot on you so you can actually stagger, but because it slows you, you should not do that. You have like 3 different ways as Monk to get rid of the dot slow. You got defuse magic. This will also work if you use diffuse magic before the spider cast. You'll prevent you from getting stunned. But if you use it after, you can't use it. You also have the roll talent that will get you out of snares, which is very useful. Because generally you'll be dodging a cone at the same time as using the global on. The other one is Tiger's Lust. Tiger's Lust will not be up for every single one exactly. You generally will have to wait a few seconds, so having the roll talent in the very least, you don't technically have diffuse magic, but it can save you from getting fucked. Anyways, after that, some of the general Mythic Plus talents don't necessarily work. You don't care for any of the defenses because you're using Healing Brawn, so I chose to drop a couple of the ones that reduce your brew cooldowns, because again, you're not staggering at all, and to use Nizao. There's possibly other points you can drop. Maybe you kind of need all the other ones for pathing reasons. Otherwise, they'd probably drop more. You can't really. The most important tool in your arsenal is Touch of Death. With enough health, and possibly with the Brawn size increasing relic that increases your health, you can usually just outright Touch of Death and kill it, and without even actually damaging it. It is up for every other one, just barely. You will sometimes have to wait a few seconds without spawning, but as long as you're aware of the cooldown, and the spawning takes quite a long time, you should be able to get Touch of Death off and focus on the heal or the cone. Otherwise, I am going to be showing this fight in the background while I'm speaking this whole time, because it's a very long fight. I did this actually 2 different times. I've killed them. I was recording and then stopping and then starting. When I killed them, I forgot to restart the recording, so I had to kill them a second time, which was kind of annoying. I almost didn't want to do it again, but I decided to do it anyways. And anyways, hope you enjoyed. Good luck. Do this as Rat and Windwalker, and have fun. One very quick additional ad here. I just noticed, as Zekvir was getting low, I decided to, instead of focusing on killing the spider, I'd wait for it to spawn and just paralyze it and continue on Zekvir. This is very dangerous and very risky, so if you're not very close to killing Zekvir, you should just try to kill the ad, and especially if you have Touch of Death, of course, then you can just whoop, pop them on the nose and have a good time. But otherwise, yeah, I just wanted to add that.